Kudan duniya ne.
Kace wise vera.
Ai ba shi azama na zama da ba ni ba shi kira.
Wani zaki fito mata a baya wani cewa ya je
ya ta ce da jan fuskanta a gurin.
shi yana
mu ga next one tukuna da kafin gani course outline inda zan gani Good day class, welcome to another section of the course Fundamental of Journalism MCM112 by Hajiya JAMILA AMINU, Department of Mass Communication, Nasarawa State University. The course outline are types of lead, hint on writing the lead, news gathering, news judgment, and challenges of news gathering in journalism. Types of lead. We have summary lead. A summary lead is the most common and traditional lead in journalism. It is meant to give a quick summary of news story. It is usually in one sentence. It contains most of the 5 W's and H. It tells the readers what they want to know in a creative manner. The next type of lead is descriptive lead. This lead describes how an event happened. It tells us about an event, place, or a person. The lead helps in creating mood of the story. The next type of lead is parody lead. This lead attempts to play on proverbs, quotations, song titles, or phrase. The next one is historical or literary allusion lead. This lead draws attention on some characters or events in history or literature that are familiar to average readers. The next one is oddity lead. This begins with uncommon or odd statement. It uses unusual approach to attract the reader's attention. The next one is narrative or sequence lead. This lead starts at the middle of an event and gives a surprising twist at the end of the story. The next one is direct lead. Direct lead is usually used in soft news and features. It is used to set a scene or evoke a mood thereby providing greater latitude in news story. The next item is hint on writing the lead. The most important methodology in lead writing are we have discovered the most important element in the story first. Decide on what type of lead to use, direct or delayed lead. Use a single element lead if you find out that one element stands out uniquely in the story. Do not use an unnecessary adjective which leads to editorializing your lead. Go straight to the point. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Make your lead fresh. It should have human interest. The next point is news gathering. What is news gathering? This is a process of collecting raw materials for the news. In this process, the reporter is assigned into a news beat from where he gathers news items on either daily, weekly, or bi-weekly basis. The beat can be the state house, airport, seaport, hospital, university, shopping center, ministry, police station, etc. The aim of the reporter is to collect relevant, useful, and proper information for his news story. The reporter must be very familiar with the total operation in his assigned beat. He or she must be knowledgeable and friendly with the top executive on his beat. The lesser people will include the messengers, cleaners, drivers, etc. These people are always able and capable of supplying the reporter with scope more readily than the top bureaucrats. The next item is news writing. After the raw materials for the news items have been collected, the next procedure is to process the raw material and put them together in a logical, accurate, concise, and coherent, readable manner. This process of putting the raw materials together is called news writing. For your news writing to be logical and meaningful, the reporter must follow a news writing formula called the inverted pyramid formula. Simply put, the inverted pyramid formula is the process of putting the most important element of the story in the first paragraph, usually called the lead or the intro. The next point will follow in the order. The reporter using inverted pyramid formula is expected to write his story in the descending order of importance, bearing in mind the 5-7-7, that is the 5 W's and H: the who, the what, when, where, why, and how. An inverted pyramid formula must has the first element of inverted pyramid formula is the most important element, followed by the next most important element, followed by the next least important element. The next item is news judgment. What goes out into the pages of newspaper are basically the news items which have been judged by the editor and his other colleagues. In doing so, they must make fast decisions as to determine what kind of news to run and what kind of news item to throw into their waste basket. They also must decide quickly on which news item to feature as the lead story, which news item to put on the front page, middle and back page. This process is called the news judgment, judging the news item at their disposal for relevance and utility. Most of those decisions are based on what some communication scholars call press self-determinism, that is, ability and capability of the press to determine by itself the kinds of news items to run or not to run. So a well-drafted news story should conform to the following requirements. Number one, we have it must have relevant, factual material from personal observation. It must contain additional information from authorities and knowledgeable source. It must contain significant and complete background information. It must be written in simple language. It should have human interest. It should have illustration, examples, and quotes. The style of writing must be appropriate to the subject. The next item is challenges of news gathering in journalism. What are the challenges of news gathering in journalism? Number one, we have access to information. It is not only citizens that have reporters access to information in Nigeria. Government and institutions have the same disposition. Certain individuals will not like to give out information which they consider to be personal, even if the information collected will be used to better their lives. So people are usually secretive when they misunderstand the purpose of news gathering. The next point is inadequate resources. A typical Nigerian broadcast station is hardly assured of adequate resources, both human and material, for its work. Poor infrastructure is an impediment to news gathering in broadcast journalism. The resources include the equipment, the transportation facilities, network, etc. The next point is weak training policy. Manpower development does not get the attention it deserves. In most stations, training opportunities are offered to workers on a temperamental basis. The next point is illiteracy. If the population of a country are illiterate, it will be difficult for a reporter to deal with such people. This group of individuals will not understand a particular expression. The level of development of a society, particularly its literacy rate, greatly affects the performance of news gathering in journalism. The next point is corruption. The corrupt nature of a country affects the process of news gathering in journalism. The next point is poor remuneration. A typically Nigerian reporter is poorly paid, that is poor salary. The next point is ownership control. The inability of the media to meet public expectations in Nigeria is partly due to ownership control, which tends to hinder excellent performance in news gathering. The next point is balance and objectivity. So balance and objectivity affect the process of news gathering in journalism. Thanks for your attention. And Okay, I'm done. On an earpiece. Yes, that's one. You know,